A very warm welcome to one and all. Thank you so much, Kumar, for joining us today for this live session. We are talking to Kumar Saurav, co-founder and CTO of Vodex.ai. So this is going to be a casual, light-hearted session today, and uh, without much ado, I'll just quickly set the context. So TapstartX is a networking community spread across India, 20 plus cities and 15 plus industries. So, in a very quick way, in a nutshell, we bring startups, enablers, and investors under one platform so that with the help of digital first networking, we are able to solve our daily challenges and focus on building what we are building really. Uh, Joining us today is Kumar at Vodex.ai. They are building a generative AI powered solution to fully automate your outbound calls that delivers a transformative communication experience, and there is a lot more to it. So I would like firstly, hi, once again, thank you for joining us today. We would like to hear it from you. So let's start today at that point. Tell us about what you do. What is your background?
Thanks, Amrit. Thank you very much for having this session, having me here. It's really great you guys are doing for the community, and I'm glad that I'm a part of it and I'm able to contribute to it. So basically, I'm Kumar Saurav. I'm currently co-founder and the CTO of Vodex. Uh, we have been doing this for last 2 years. So we are a GenAI based company which is trying to automate the end-to-end sales conversations. So it's like a sales engagement and automation platform. Currently, we are at a seed stage, gearing up for a Series A stage company. Prior to that, I actually has always been an entrepreneur. So I have around 14 years of entrepreneurship experience. This is my third company. So straight out of graduating out of the college in 2010, I started my first company into IoT and renewable. I'm an electrical electronics engineer. So I was good at it. So I thought that, okay, let's make a career out of it. Me with my few college friends, we started a company named Saj. We used to take a lot of government and PSUs and smart cities projects. Then I did that till 2017 and almost till start of 2018. Uh, I think we grew the company from zero to I think somewhere around 8.5 crores in turnover in those 8 years. It was fairly going good. No complaints about that. It's like it was going good, but the scalability was a question mark. So my current co-founder Anshul and me actually are university batchmates, so we know each other since 2006. Very old friendship. So he was in London at that time. He was working for BBC there. He was on site from Mindtree. He was a software engineer there. So me, Anshul was doing something in AI. So in 2017, he told me that, hey man, I've started doing freelance activities and I'm getting this project. I'm earning more than what I'm earning from my salary. So it's great to do that. So I thought that, okay, let's give it a shot. And at that time, it's very why I came into AI and data world actually it's because of two things. One is actually I heard about Cambridge Analytica scandal. So it was like a wow factor for me that you can actually manipulate people's minds with the power of data. Like you can get more receptive data about them and accordingly tell them subconsciously tell them what to do. So I was quite surprised that the power of data was there. Then I started learning about it, went on a self-learning journey. Always been a quick learner, so that's why it was easier for me to transition. So in 2018, early Anshul said that why don't quit the company, I come back to India, and why don't we start running a company, like you already have the entrepreneurship experience, let's start doing things, something like that. So we started another company called Excel Web Tech. So in that we used to do again same service based projects. So we used to take global projects from multiple clientele across the globe, primarily from outside India. We did that till 2021 and actually 2022 very start, like January February till we did that. So we did around more than $1 million business in that one as well, and we were quite happy. Again, we grew the team from 5% team in 2018 to 31% team in 2021. So while we were doing that, we tried a lot on to productize the business. Like we tried with web builders, we tried with chatbot builders, we tried with conversation orchestration tools. We trained our own NLU engine at that by that time. It was one of the fine-tuned model on top of a open source model. So we tried that, but we didn't find any moat in those one. Like we neither the first mover advantage was there, nor there was a moat. So that time in 2020, we got on a call with a US call center, and they wanted to build a outbound calling agent for a commercial real estate in Florida. So that was like the first moment where we started building this. So we create a very scratchy solution. Like you literally need to put, so say suppose you have to dial 1,000 numbers. So you have to copy and paste those numbers into a Google sheet which we prepared. And the
Correct.
numbers cast on from there were triggered the call. Whatever the conversation happened was logged into Google Sheet, because that's the easiest way. We couldn't tell the customer that, hey, you have to go into that database and you have to fetch it from
Mm.
there. So quicker solution he needed. So we built a very quick solution in that. But the client was very happy. It's like it
Mm.
was doing half of the job for him. Most importantly, the scalability was very large.
So it's more
So
of need based आपने build किया. That's where the crux comes, right? That it was not something that you thought will be needed or accepted in the market. It is basically driven from a pain point or a need.
exactly. And actually, after that, we slightly promoted it as well on multiple platforms like LinkedIn and other places. And we started getting huge traction, like the customers from New Zealand, Australia, Germany, UK, every places started coming to us. We did around 13, 14 projects, and they were very high paying projects. We even, in
Mm.
fact, also built a, before that, we even, in fact, also built a chatbot builder, which as a product we were not able to scale or fund it, so we sold it to a Korean company actually. I think it's around something $100,000 we sold it to them. So while doing that, we realized that okay, this is a great opportunity. There's a huge demand in it. So we started researching about it in 2021 early.
Mm.
Uh, so right now, like after GPT came last year, like last to last year, December 2022, before that as well, there was the term language models, there was the terms like that. We used to call it different thing, like we used to call it semantic search and creating models on top of semantic search engines on NLU
Mm.
engine, and essentially that's what further moved into multi-models and created large language model generative
Mm.
AI story. So we what we did in 2021 towards end, we fine-tuned a Bloom models. Bloom was the first one of the large language models.
Mm.
So fine-tuned a model connected to our NLU engine, and what it did is with a very small data set. Like you doesn't like no engineer need to sit and create intent-based data. No need to capture and create too much data. The bot was able to handle more than 60-70% of the queries automatically, because it knew what it need to say because of that semantic search engine. It can run through PDFs, it can run through. So
Mm.
right now RAG is a great word. Everyone talks about enterprise search and everyone, but we did it in 2021. So to be very frank, in 2022, when we raised the first fund from 100x VC, we shown them that this only as a MVP at idea
Mm.
stage when we
Mm.
raised the first fund, and they were quite impressed that okay, something new is coming. They at least know the vision that where the world is going towards.
Mm.
So they
Mm.
watched us, and we are very thankful for them. And that's when then the journey started. So when we created Vodex 1.0, released in
Mm.
November 2023, straight at
So
the time.
100x को मैं park करूँगा अभी because I want to spend some time on your experience with 100x. But let's dive a little deeper into from a business standpoint. Uh, what does Vodex currently do for its customers as compared to traditional methods of outbound calling?
So see, the first of all, Currently the Vodex what we wanted to build is still not live. It's
Hmm.
still a half version of it is live. So let's
Hmm.
talk about the half version which you want,
Hmm.
the current version. So we actually automate the end-to-end calling process. Vodex
Hmm.
can be used for other than sales activity as well. We have seen customers using it, but we have language model which are specifically fine tuned on sales conversation, because sales is a thing which comes with the skills. If you are a good salesperson, you know how to tackle conversations, and
Hmm.
that's what most important thing. So see, the problem here is, if you are trying to do a conversation in sales, you should know how to guide the customer. You should be able to identify the pain points during the conversation. That becomes very tough in a bot. So bots can be conversational, like hi, how can I help you? Can be very easily tackled. But when it becomes the sales, you need to guide the conversation. You need not to the customer should not deviate the conversation from the trajectory.
Hmm.
Other than that, the scalability becomes a very much bigger question mark. With say, suppose
Hmm.
there is a call center in Manila or in India
Hmm.
or maybe in US. So first of all, the human workforce costs too much, and what they do is, like, say suppose they dialed 1,000 calls every day, a team of 10 dialed. Half of the call doesn't get even connected, and out of
Hmm.
the connected call, 30% of the call goes to the voicemail in US.
Hmm.
So that becomes like, you are actually doing 70% time you are doing redundant work. You are just dialing numbers, you are just putting voicemails. So that's the
Hmm.
first.
Not really
Second,
adding value.
yeah, not adding value there. Second is, even if you can get connected, now a good salesperson will talk differently, a bad salesperson will talk differently. So the average out becomes lesser.
Hmm.
So, and most importantly, this, if you want to scale, say suppose a company goes to a call center, says that, hey, I want to start triggering 50,000 calls every day. I'm getting a huge amount of leads into my pipeline. I will give you a number every day and you have to dial them. The call center will say, hold on, we need to hire a few people. I cannot dial 50,000 call with my current workforce, because they are engaged someplace else, or I doesn't have enough manpower. So scalability and training also becomes a question mark. So our bots can dial like 10,000 calls within an hour is very easily. It can be scaled as much as possible with the number of servers that we want to do. And also you doesn't need to train them or retain them. If you have doesn't if you're not getting too many leads, stop dialing. The control is in your hands. You're not firing or hiring someone as you go. So there, if you see, we actually have a very simple sentence to sum up what the customer success looks like. Says that they save around 40%. If any businesses on board with Vodex, they save around 40% of their money in cost savings, 90% of their time, because of the scalability. And almost we have seen a transition of happening around 1.6 to 1.7 times in their sales in 60 days. It cannot be in a single day, because you need to keep dialing, and then you will start getting lead flooded and everything. But the initial pre-sales solution we have already done. Our bots can actually talk to the customer, engage in a very long conversation. We have done internal testing of around 40-45 minutes of calls. Even in
Hmm.
fact, one of our partners says that he has seen customers doing more than an hour call, and the bot kept holding to the ground, like kept answering everything.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
the bot can engage in a very really long conversation, can handle all sorts of granularities
In
in
a
your
more
conversation.
humanized way.
Yeah, more humanized way. And these are ultra realistic human voices, so there is no point of questioning that the
Yeah,
bots
I
can.
got a chance. In fact, one of the demo videos, and I was really delighted to hear that there was a sense of empathy. Also, there was those feelings also in the bot, and it was really too good to be true. But then that's what is something that when we say, कि, कुछ नया आ रहा है, कुछ अलग आ रहा है, so that's where we are sort of breaking that ceiling and actually building something like that. So
Exactly.
now that we have got a fairly good idea of what Vodex does, uh, it automates outbound calls for your company. For predominantly right now, we are looking at sales as a use case, and kind of scale and the volume of calls that Vodex can handle. Uh, the world is introduced to the concept of AI, right? The Chat GPT and the Gemini and all those sorts of things. People understand the front facing of things, help us visualize in case of Vodex what exactly happens in the back end, in a very layman language, because we are talking about our audience, and I'm trying to simplify things. Okay, and who better than a CTO of a company to help us sort of visualize that कि भाई back end में exactly AI करता क्या है, and obviously the front experience we just spoke about.
So, see, the difference is there's a very big, larger difference between AI and Gen AI. I will take a quick 1 minute just to explain that. So, in AI, there was already machine learning, deep learning, and other stuff. There was all the analyticals and everything comes from that. So, in AI, what used to happen is that, say, suppose you have a data around of one type of set of a subset. Say, suppose there's a finance data, maybe stocks data. Okay, stocks every day close and every buying prices and everything. You have large amount of data. Now, if you create a model using AI, general AI tools using machine learning and deep learning algorithms, what used to happen? It will create one type of prediction. So, say suppose it will predict the future price, or say suppose it will tell you to buy or not buy, or say suppose you want to create a image recognition algorithm. So say suppose you create a folder of cat images and a dog images, and then pass a new cat image and ask that is it a cat or dog. So it's a classification model. Whereas the Gen AI it has transitioned is that it's already a multi-model. It does multiple tasks. It can do one single model can do multiple tasks. So say suppose you pass a text data, it will respond in text. It can generate the next sequence of text. So next, when I say next, so say suppose I said hi, how are, then it will say you. The next word it will predict. It can also say suppose you pass an image, tell that is it a cat or a dog. It will also tell that. Say suppose you pass the I'm not saying that do this in GPT, that upload the stock prices data and ask him should I what will the future price, but eventually the idea is towards that. So similarly, the Gen AI comes with a one singular model becomes can do multiple tasks. Now even the multimodal Gen AI concept has come up that it can generate videos, images, objects, anything, like anything you ask for. So multimodal, like Gemini is the you talked about, is a multimodal. So now coming back to the conversation of what Vodex does in the background is so it's a very large architecture. I will dumb it down for very simple use cases. First of all, say suppose someone picked up the call and he said hello. So first thing happens that there is a speech recognition that triggers, that converts it into text, that whatever the user said. Here also there are huge amount of nuances. I will quickly explain. So how does the bot know that the person has said hello only and he's not saying any other word? Like he's not saying hello, how are you? Says it could say that. So there is a voice activity detector, and that's an AI based one. So it basically detects at the correct context that someone has picked it. It is supposed to say hello mostly. So the activity detector will wait for a lesser amount of time, like say suppose 200 milliseconds, and it will process that information. Second is after the in the text, whatever the user has said has been converted. It passes through a large language model, which is proprietary model for our ones, which actually process that information based on previous context given to the bot. So we already passed, like when the business we onboard, we pass some context to the like we call it as a prompt. You can understand the prompt GPT, prompting a GPT kind of a thing. So that prompt is already pre-passed, and whatever the user said is passed. Now, according to that, it generates a response automatically in text. Then that text passed through our proprietary text-to-speech models, and that converts the text, responded text of LLM into voice.
Audio.
And that's when you finally hear the voice. Again, there are many stages that I skipped, like caching and guardrails and everything. I completely skipped it. But that's the whole idea around that. I will also tell you one more thing is that we are still doing it as a redundant process. Why? Because technically, I mean, like it's a general engineering principle that when you create a multi-stage flow, so say there is a three-stage flow, you can clearly see, right? There is a speech recognition. So some efficiency loss will happen there. That's for sure. Any engineer, any good engineer will agree to this. Then when it is going through the large language model, the error percentage will increase, the efficiency will decrease, then the text to speech, some efficiency will lose.
Hmm.
So technically this three-stage process also is creating a process. So we are coming up with a very innovative new thing which we have been researching on for last 1 year. This will be, if we are able to do that, we will be the first one to do it. So far there's no models. I've seen just a few papers which is called a speech to speech model. So imagine you said hello and the response doesn't get converted into text. There's no text processing in the midway. That
Hmm.
way the bot will be more empathic, more connected, more fast,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
more related to the conversation. So that's what
So,
we are doing.
so basically, we will be able to reduce the standard deviation or the chances of margins of error, basically, and try to be more precisely specific and contextually right with respect to the conversation we are having
Exactly.
over there.
Exactly.
Lovely. This is exciting, and I'm sure if it is into the making, we poking more about it should not be done at the moment, but
Correct.
we'll be happy to chat about it. Before I have some interesting areas to touch upon, like the go-to market that Vodex has, the recent funding that Vodex raised, and overall the B2B marketing things we can look at. But just before that, right? Uh, a very simple question. Uh, Someone who's building a solution like this, AI powered solution like this, what is the kind of team does the company need to build, which is like no brainer?
So it depends on what kind of product you are building. So basically, Gen AI is can be broadly classified into three kinds of startup worlds. One is who's like OpenAI world, which is we are also not creating the foundational model directly, like something very scratch, something new. If we are able to do that speech to speech model, we will be a part of like that one. But currently, we are not. So if there is
Currently,
one
OpenAI is not a part of your entire circuit.
no. I'm saying that, say, suppose Gen AI startups can be broadly classified into three categories. The first category is towards the OpenAI or what Anthropic's Cloud A or what Gemini, Google Gemini, DeepMinds, one these are doing. Okay, they are training from scratch. They have an abundant amount of data, abundant amount of compute power. Uh, Great engineers. So basically, they are leading the chart. But what they are doing is they are creating the language model and commoditizing it. Like you use my models into inference API and build something on top of it.
Got it.
So that comes the second type of startup. Those who use those model and build something on top of it. Then there is a third type of startup which I will say currently lies into, which uses those model, create a model, another model out of it, like a completely new model specified for the use case, which using fine tuning or some other method, put a guardrail on top of it, caching, and the lots of other things and ants
Hmm.
we do. And then we create a specific use based product out of it rather than
Hmm.
just creating. So imagine there is a like you go to GPT, if you ask him to write a poem it will do, if you ask him to write a book it will write it. So it does. So our we call it as a wrapper based startup. So basically there could be a wrapper based startups which can fairly be very quick ideas. So you what you do, whatever user query happens, you send it to GPT. So you are just acting as a medium. Technically, I will suggest the startups, new startups, to not go in that field. Like
Hmm.
do some research.
Hmm.
That's where the second the ours field happens. That you find a specific niche use case,
Hmm.
you identify the problems in it, you identify the problems in the existing models. That what is the problem with the model, and how can I, with my data, with my technology, with my training, I can further better it, further fine tune it, and then you utilize it for your specific use case so that your
Hmm.
customers will love it. Because then the customer will not be able to say to you, hey, I simply asked did the same conversation on GPT, it was answering better, but yours
Hmm.
is not answering good.
Hmm.
That's the problem. So you have to create a better model out of the existing models. So it could be either open source model or closed source model, but you have to do that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I will suggest the startups either go in that, or then there is in India as well, Kritrim and Sarvam. These kind of startups are there, which are essentially training the model like OpenAI from the scratch for Indian data sets as well. So you can go that way as well. Now regarding the hiring, what kind of team is required? Actually, with the rise of Gen AI, the requirement size of the team is very small. Like my team is very small. We are hardly 10, 11 or 12 people in tech. That's it, including me. That's it. And we have raised for the round, but we'll hardly be 15 16 people percent team in tech. We doesn't
Mm.
need quite too much team, because half of the work can be done automated as well. But the likes of Devon is coming very soon, so you doesn't need a very high thing
Yeah.
until unless you are doing some research level work, which we did at the text to speech time. But thankfully, me and Anshul had the experience. We have been training text to speech models since 2019, so we
Mm.
had the idea, so we were able to do it on our own. But not necessarily you will be able to do it on yours, so you might need to get as a consultant, as of some full-time persons. So those people finding will be a slightly tough journey.
Okay, slightly. Got it. Got it. Um, Great. I think so. Talking about the GTM, the earlier conversations we have had. So, focusing on the countries beyond India, that has been an approach, right? So,
Yeah.
let me ask you that why not India, and what are the reservations in terms of the market?
So as it's not like why not India, first of all, because we did it for India first. So we launched our first version of Vodex in November 2022. Yeah, 2022. After our first fundraise, it was like in beta. We went in November 2022, went live with the first version in 2023 early. So, and we stayed in the India market till I think June or July 2023. Just before the launch of 2020 Vodex 2.0, we moved to the global market.
Hmm.
We started experimenting in April with the US market, and we got some traction very quickly. So why not is, if it's a question, that quite a few reasons. I believe that at that time the India was a little early market. People were very was trying to understand how good this market, how this Gen AI product can help them. Everyone wanted to know that, but willingness to pay for it was a little less.
Hmm.
We seen a few startups failing very terribly as well in a very quick succession at that time, focusing on Indian markets. Second was also India is very vernacular, like dialect. There are two, like even not only languages. The languages has different dialect. Like say, suppose I'm sitting in Bangalore. I don't know Kannada, but I believe that if I moved slightly outside towards Bangalore, there will be a different kind of Kannada might be spoken.
Hmm.
Okay. So, like in North India, it happens as well. In Maharashtra, it happens as well. So those things becomes very tough. And now, if the dialect is changing, in US also it happens. Like say, suppose Eastern Coast and Western Coast has a different dialects, but it's manageable. It's not like entirely different journey.
Hmm.
But in India it becomes a very big task. Then most important problem, India is too vernacular. India is like India has more than 100 plus languages, major languages. If I say at least is 8 or 9 prominent in major languages. So you need to train a model on top of everything, and the compute power was not at a abundance for us.
Hmm.
So we thought that okay, these are the technical hurdles. Second is the financial hurdle, that the people are not willing to pay as much as we want to pay. Like in
Hmm.
India, people were not even willing to pay a rupee a minute as well.
Hmm.
Big banks and everything. We had we had huge amount of discussion with very larger banks. They were quite impressed with the product, but they were not willing to pay for it. So at that time, we realized that it doesn't matter. Build from India, build for the world is the concept we can follow. So we started promoting as our GTM for the US market, and we started getting good traction immediately. Like I think within the first month, we got around $5,000 of business. So we thought that
Hmm.
okay, let's focus on this, double down on it. Then
Hmm.
we launched Vodex 2.0 specifically for US market, and
Hmm.
kept it in beta, and the customers kept on pouring the money and everything. We quickly started scaling up. So that's when we realized that okay, I think it's good to. And also in startup, when you get funded and everything, everyone says that you should focus on one geography. Like we are even not, a lot of demand to us comes from Middle East, from European Union as well. But we are not catering to them, which is very easy for us. Like if we are doing for European Union, we can quickly train a model in French or in German or Spanish, and we can do out of it. But we are focused on like let's try to lead one part of the world and then move towards the other geography as a beachhead.
Got it. I think this sort of summarizes the kind of GTM you had initially for your business, where you tested the waters, understood that the market may not be matured yet for the kind of product you guys are building. Secondly, the kind of variables we have in India, right? The
Yeah.
kind of languages, the kind of dialects. So that's fairly large. And while it's not impossible to cater to that, but it's more of when you're getting started and building up, right? You don't want to get into complexities first. So
Yeah.
and this only makes sense, right? Let's talk about funding. And so बताइए अब तक आपने कितने रेज किए टोटल?
We have raised around $2.3 million in total. Though, so you can say somewhere around like 19 crore, 18 and a half to 19 crore, something like
18 to 19 CR. So आपका जो फर्स्ट रेस था, it was with 100x.
Yeah, so first raise was of 1.25 crore,
Hmm.
100x, so 160K वहां से आया डॉलर्स में.
Hmm.
And then we did an angel round, 6 महीने बाद ही हमने किया, and there we raised another 1.25 crore. We
Hmm.
got commitment of around 2.6 crores, but we wanted to save equity for the larger round, which we did mostly after a year.
Hmm.
So then we raised another $2 million from
Hmm.
Unicorn India Ventures and Pentathlon VC.
Got it, got it. So tell us about your time at 100x. How did it start versus what was your experience with them, and then the check and all that came in.
So I will tell you, to be very frank, they also say this, and I will say that they are doing a, a good job. What they claim to be, they are trying to build a YC in India. That's what
Hmm.
they claim. Like
Hmm.
the structure is the similar, the same safe notes and everything. Like
Hmm.
there's a differentiation between the US safe notes and India, their iSafe, but
But
straight Indian.
at large, the cohort-based approach and
Yes, the larger
the
cohort
standard
actually
check
helps a lot.
sizes.
Yes. So I will tell you very quickly. So when we started raising, I think in March 2022, we realized that okay, we have to raise the fund if we have to build this product. So what we did first thing is that we went to every larger BC, whether it was used to be Sequoia at that time and Nexus Venture Partner and everyone. We knew that these guys are not going to put money in it, but it's good to learn from them. So we were getting good responses that okay, you are building good thing, but we are too early. Okay, but we are early, but tell me about my idea. Tell me how can I improvise. We kept getting free suggestions from them, you can say. And then what we did is then we started pitching to few smaller ones for the pre-seed stage and the idea stage kind of a thing. I think we pitched to less than 5 or 6, and then we pitched to 100x. So 100x immediately called us to their Mumbai office, and I think it was a very quick. Like within a day, we signed a term sheet. Within a month or so, sorry, 2 months, we got the money in the bank. We took larger time because we had to register a new company. They couldn't put it in the previous company of ours, so we had to shut it down and then start a new company. So that's why it took a larger time. For other companies it had taken less than a month as well.
Hmm.
And post that they started make so while even doing that, they started giving us sessions virtually through multiple brand partners, through multiple mentors and everything. Then they called us for more than a month long course. I think it's all started around 12th of December for us in 2023, ended on 21st of January 20, sorry, 12th of December 2022 it started and ended on 21st January 2023. So what they did, they brought a lot of mentors in for a physical sessions. We had a physical sessions in Mumbai with our cohort. So we were like I think 24 or 25 odd startups. We all were there learning each and every day. So it used to be back to back classes. Lots of industry speakers used to come. Most important thing that before that, like right now, I can talk about GTM. I can talk about ICP. Anshul can also talk about it. We can talk about sales strategy. We were building a sales product. We even didn't had idea that sales also has strategies. Like there is spend, there is a band, there is a rice model. We literally doesn't have any idea about it. We learned in those master classes. We really fought our way into that one, and then they also provide an opportunity for you to pitch to network of angel investors and also to some
Got it.
VCs. So like I got connected to AMG Invest, Venture Catalyst, Even Unicorn India got connected there. Pentathlon also got connected there. So they all came to their pitch session where I think 400 odd VC plus investors were there, and we pitched, and then we raised the second angel round from there only. Yeah,
Mm.
so that's how both the round happened.
Fantastic, fantastic. It goes beyond funding. I think it gives you
Yeah,
an access to a huge network. It gives you it brings you up to pace with the things in the entrepreneurial journey that you need to carry with yourself, and largely the kind of jargons today that we are able to use. I think it's a good mentoring and you know
I will say it's completely for the first time founder, it's a go. Like just don't think of anything equity XYZ whatever. Just go and start because you are a first time founder. You still need to prove it. You still need to learn a lot. I won't say it's for the same for the second time founders because they might have created a like maybe successful second time founders. They already have done something in past. They already might be one of the speaker level category people, so probably for them it might be not be a correct say, but there's a huge amount of things that you can learn for the
got
as
it.
a first-time founder with
Got
them.
it. So they have a standardized check size versus the equity structure, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay. So if say there are other 25 startups, so does that entire batch of 25 startups get funded with the same check size?
yes. Everyone. So 100x has a standard check size, a standard equity proportion for that. Do it using a term called iSafe. It's a way of
Yes.
term sheet
Yes.
that they offer. The instrument is called iSafe, and post that you can keep on raising funds. Like they will help you in another future round. So that's what I'm saying. 1.25 crore I raised from 100x immediately. Then
Mm.
they also given us a platform from where from where we raise another 1.25 crore
Mm.
within 6 months.
Mm. Got it. Got it. Lovely. So just on a lighter note, जब एक startup की funding होती है, right? So what is the kind of vibe that happens with your friends and families? Because obviously there are these press releases that go out. There is this buzz that happens, and like अरे इसने तो funding raise किया, तो क्या आपका experience था? How was it in your family, in your friend circle, or maybe with your team?
Uh, आई थिंक अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल रीच आउट टू यू. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि सभी लोग आपसे बात करना चाहते हैं जिन्होंने सालों से आपसे बात नहीं करी है. सो दैट्स द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट चेंजेस. And of course, a lot of people also. There is one more funny thing that happens that as soon as you put that PR that we have raised the fund, a lot of well wishers comes that hey, are you struggling with sales? Are you struggling with marketing? Are you struggling?
Uh,
So those people also come, which are completely strangers, which could be completely strangers. Regarding family and all, so of course, I don't think I belong from Patna, Bihar, uh, and did my graduation from Madhya Pradesh. Bhopal. Me and Anshul both we did together. I don't think so. Anshul जहाँ से बिलोंग करते हैं रीवा से एंड मैं पटना से बिलोंग करता हूँ. मैं जिस मोहल्ले में रहता हूँ तो दूर दूर सुदूर तक भी कोई किसी ने फंडिंग कभी रेज करने की कोशिश भी करी है. So it becomes great. Of course, I was not there to enjoy, but parents tell me the story around it. So actually, it has become on a funny note. It has become a great thing. My brother's marriage, my elder brother's marriage talk is going on. So now my parents always tell that my youngest child, he आप Shark Tank देखते हो, उसमें जितना रेंज करते थे उसका 10 times रेंज किया है वो. So
it
basically,
becomes a brag worthy thing, right, for parents.
yeah, so it changes a lot, and most importantly I think around team you also ask. Team was for us, I will say our team was already very brilliant, like very hardworking, but not like gadha mazduri kind of smartly intelligent kind of
Yes.
a team we had. And we have actually not had. And their excitement level rose. So I might be I'm black. I'm not very I'm black in color, but I'm too black right now because we have returned from a week trip of
From a retreat.
from a retreat in Goa. So basically everyone was every entire team was there. We were uh, 3-4 days we were there brainstorming as well, and also having fun in pool and beaches and everything. So it was like a fun bonding moment as well. And team
Yes,
was
sir.
also very much excited about it, and they learned a lot. We learned a lot from them. They are all geared up for the new version of the Vodex, trying to become a leader into the sales world and everything.
Got it. I think काफी exciting चीज होती है teams के लिए भी. It sort of brings in that kind of confidence. काफी brag worthy चीज भी हो जाती है जब एक company is headed in the right direction, backed by some big brands in the VC space. So that's there, you know. So talking about the last segment of today's chat, B2B marketing is a tricky thing, right? ऐसा है कि कोई कोई स्पेसेस में कुछ फॉर्मूलाज होते हैं जो हम यूज कर सकते हैं. दे कम इन हैंडी the kind of D2C space we are looking at in India, or the consumer facing, right? So B2B, tell us, how do you sell? You got the initial traction you mentioned, maybe from the US market, but building upon that channel, going a little more aggressive. So how do you sell? How do you acquire your new clients?
So I won't say we have 100% sorted out the channels. We have some good traction till now, and it's also increasing month on month. So we are doubling down on all the channels that we are. But what I have seen is people like to get communicated, not with doesn't like to get bombarded with outbound emails and everything. Like, they usually land up in spam as well. What they like is that a proof of concept of your thing. Like, do like that's why I me and Anshul thought of an idea that, hey, let's do a live video with our bot in front of camera. Let's not do any manipulative video playing and everything. Let's pick up the call in front of camera, talk actually. And there is one competitor which has picked up from us. Our competitor only picked up from us. So now they have went on to road and started talking, showing that, hey, our bot does this great work and everything.
Uh,
So it's good that people are learning from us. So that's the one thing, you create a trust. So the trust is the one part we have built a lot. Second, you have to work on the authority as well. Like, you understand their space very well, and you want to empower them, their sales journey, because we are into sales, so we should do that. Third is, the messaging should be very clear with the current whatever product you are selling. So say, suppose right now we are selling Vodex 2.0. When we will launch 3.0, the messaging will entirely change. Even the ICPs can change at that time.
hmm.
So those things need to be very clearly monitored based on the customers coming to us, how the quality of leads are, how many MQLs, how many SQLs are getting converted. So those things you need to keep a very good track of it. I will actually tell you, Amrit, that so far we have not done even outbound sales. We have not written a single email. We have not dialed a single phone call. If someone has not even called back, now we are trying to find a way. Then you have to also find different innovative way to reach to the segment which we are targeting. Now there it becomes two things. Either you are selling to SMBs or mid market, or you are selling to enterprises. If you are selling to enterprises, you have to go with a sales led approach. Even Salesforce doesn't sell it using normal thing. They have to
Hmm.
go with a sales led approach. But if you're selling to SMBs and mid market, then you can go with a PLG approach, which we actually try to enable as much as possible, so that we empower them with so much of data that it's very fairly easy for them to build a bot and start doing conversation within 5 minutes, like triggering phone calls to thousands of people within 5 minutes. That's how easy we wanted to build it.
So
So
tell us for the audience a bit more about the PLG approach.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying, that in the early days of 2023, when we launched, we were not we didn't launch even to Vodex 2.0. It was in beta. What we did with that, we started building a lot of knowledge bases, lot of videos, lots of tutorial videos, lots of guided tools into the product and everything as well. So what it did, that, say suppose a customer lands onto the website, he knows where to click next. He should be popped up with that. Now if he registers, he should be automatically be doing that. Okay, my this page is, there is a video that is explaining everything, or explainer video, or a page explainer video. So we deep down in it. Then we even help them writing the bots what you need to write as a prompt. We help them that with a guided conversation, like, hey,
Got it.
you just enter these details and then you
Mm,
automatically a
mm,
bot will be created. So
mm.
we did that. So that's how the PLG approach. And now if he needed to make a payment, there was already a subscription page, you just need to go there and buy. Now if someone is not willing to pay and he wants to do a conversion, then only he comes for the sales
Got
conversation.
it.
So that's how the PLG approach we went in. It's not 100% PLG. Like, still a lot of customers do comes to us for a demo and marketing videos, but it's fine. It's fine. At least the customers can see the value very quickly over the
So,
period of
so
time.
let's also put some light on the ICPs that we are referring to. Currently, what is the kind of ideal profiles of customers, customer profiles that we are looking at?
We
Typical
have
customer, अगर हम आपके business की बात करें, what is the size? What is the kind of nature of operations they are into?
Okay, so we have targeted US SMB only, even not mid market or larger enterprise. So far, we will in fact we doesn't have any plans to go for enterprise in the upcoming 8 to 10 months. We do have plan post that, but we want to do that after the launch of 3.0 when we create a verticalized solution for an industry. So I'm not
Got it.
talking about that. Let's talk about the current version. So currently in the SMB market, we usually target companies which are around 50 to 500 million dollars, something in between. We even actually have a niche down in between 100 to 250 million dollars. But
Hmm.
even if someone is smaller than 100 or larger than that, we are able to cater to them. Why this specificity is there? There is that we have seen these conversions happening very rapidly with them. Like, the customer came within 2 3 days or 7 days, he buy the platform. If he went to a sales led approach with the PLG, we have seen that without any communication, people buying from the platform directly and started using it. That's for the direct customer. Second is another. We have another approach is that we have created partners in US and Canada. So what
Hmm.
does these partners are? They are either a CRM companies or a digital marketing companies, Shopify companies, where they are managing hundreds and thousands of businesses under their platform. So say suppose there is a CRM company called, there's a company of clients of ours called Timec in Canada. So they run a CRM in Canada. They have more than 200 plus customers already. Okay,
Hmm.
they were using it for CRM and SMS automation and WhatsApp automation and XYZ smaller activities, outbound emails and everything. What become that Vodex, they integrated Vodex using our APIs into their CRM, and now Vodex become their primary selling point. Like, if
Hmm.
Vodex is there, then it's getting sold,
So
because
it's
making
more of a distribution kind of a model where we basically piggyback on existing base of our other
yes,
complementing
yes.
partners.
Yes. So those partners bring around 60 to 65% of the business each month for us. So like we are doing right now roughly around 65 to 70 lakh rupees a month. So they usually bring 60 to 65% of the each month money.
Hmm.
Then
Hmm.
also from the direct customers. In direct customers, I will say it's very smaller niche, like smaller fintechs, solar companies are a lot of solar companies are there because the lead cost in US is very much higher. Third is real estate companies, roofing companies are there. Smaller insurance tech companies, like niche insurance tech companies, are also our customers. We are also seeing some mortgage loans, smaller mortgage loans companies also coming on to Vodex right now.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
like there's a huge debate. Everyone asks us that why don't you focus on the banking and insurance directly, BFSI directly, going for enterprise. They
Hmm.
do, like, we talk to Citizen Financial Group. It's a $160 billion bank. They told us that their outbound and inbound budget each year for calling, including customer support, is $26 million. They each year they do that. So say suppose I land just only Citizen Financial, I'm doing a business of around 10 12 million dollars from the bank. But the problem there is that we doesn't want to project ourselves as a AI based call center company which is doing just calling. We want to
Hmm.
automate the entire sales process, and that product is still not out in the market. So that's why we have not focused. That's why we are saying that for the enterprise, we will go after 8 to 10 months when we are launched with the final version of the product, and then we are just building on top of it.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So tell me, how does the revenue model shape up in terms of Vodex? Looking at one client and the kind of revenue, is it recurring in nature? Is it implementation? How is it shaped up?
We technically charge on the basis of consumption. So basically, the more minutes of calling that happens, the amount we will charge. But the problem is we don't charge as a you as a pay as you go. You cannot do a like a $1 rupees of a call and do a $1 recharge and kind of a thing. So you need to do a commitment based model. We have,
Mm.
so you have to do a minimum of $1,000 recharge. You get a 6,000 minutes of callings in that. Then there is a $4,500 package, and then there is a $15,000 and $60,000 package as well. Each has a expiry period. So $1,000 package comes with expiry of a month. $4,500 comes with a 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months as well. So we don't call anyone churn so say suppose someone took for $1,000 package this month, next month also, and then stop for 2 months and then again buy it after that. So we don't consider them as a churn at that point until as they have stopped doing communication and everything. Why?
Mm.
Because it's demand based, right? They have a demand, then they will dial, otherwise they won't. So when they buy a, say suppose $1,000 package, they get a 6,000 minute worth of calling. Post that, they can do a top up, like a mobile recharge top up they used to do. They can do a top up as well.
Mm.
So in $1,000 they get a 6,000 minute calling, so they can dial, say suppose 6,000 connected calls for a minute, or maybe 3,000 calls connected calls for a 2 minute conversation. It depends on the conversation and everything
Mm.
as
Mm. So before wrapping up the session, just in the Indian context, I want to ask you, कि we have understood कि Vodex करता क्या है, क्या कर सकता है सेल्स प्रोसेस के पर्सपेक्टिव से. अगर मान के चलिए इंडिया के स्पेस से, इंडियन स्पेस से, we are looking at maybe someone who comes and asks us that I'm into B2B gifting and I have a database, right? We have a database of our ideal customers who I want to sort of festive season hai, and we want to set up this whole. We have the prospecting done. We need to plan our outreach and sales qualification for the leads. So, is this doable in the Indian context currently, or is it just we have drawn a line? Ke we are not catering to the Indian markets at the moment.
I will give you with one example is without taking the name of that edtech. It's a very large edtech, one of the top three. Uh, they came to us. They had the data. They are using Vodex, but they are using for US. They are dialing in US. They are not dialing in India. So
Got
I'm
it.
not saying even when it comes.
It
Uh,
goes back to the same too many variables in the Indian market.
No, not because of that. Actually, it's because of the money. So probably it's
Got it.
finally it is now boiling down to that. Technology wise, now it's not a problem for us. We do have a
Got
voice cloning now. I can literally put your voice in Hindi and can clone your voice and start making phone calls. So it hardly is a problem for us now. So the
So kind of
problem there remains is about the cost. Like my if my
borrow
input,
that they are able to get back.
yeah, my unit economics at least should make some means to me. Like I should make some money out of it. Not money, even if I shouldn't make a loss out of it. I'm not gonna do a business if I'm making a loss out of it.
Got
So
it.
that's where the problem and the agenda has come. People have seen conversational. We have given conversational AI bots the earlier before Gen AI bots.
Hmm.
For say suppose if someone will ask me that can you give it at 40 paisa per minute, I said okay, let it be. My cost is at 8 paisa, I can give it at 40 paisa. But if my cost is already at 3 rupees, how can I give it to you at 1 rupee? There's no point
Got
of
it.
doing.
Got it.
So
Got it.
there comes the differentiation that the customers, it's very terrible. Like we are in talks with right now Deloitte, Capgemini as well, but they all are pushing Vodex into for their customers in US, not in India.
Hmm.
So that's why we have slightly drawn a line for now. Later on, we will probably come back
I
to
think when
when we.
your model and products are calibrated for the Indian markets, I think that'll be the right time
Yes,
for
yes.
the audiences to come to you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So I think I had my last question parked, but I think you answered that already. Okay, you know, this is more of the inbound is what you all have been handling, and Apluka as a marketing plan per se ऐसे, is not something that you guys are following. But then, happy to chat about it. We have a lot of folks in our community. Uh, into the space of marketing, into the space of advertising, into the space of B2B brand building, and the kind of enablers, mentors in the ecosystem. Uh, so we can definitely have a chat over it. And a shout out to you, Kumar. This whole chat has been really interesting, and I hope it added value. From a perspective of driving the narratives to our mutual audiences on LinkedIn, and overall it was really enriching in terms of seeing that something. I really loved the statement. It stayed with me, that building from India for the world. This is really a proud moment to see that something as advanced as this can be built, where even the Indian markets are not fully ready for it yet, but
Yeah.
we are actually making a global impact through Vodex, and we are really proud to have Vodex.ai as a part of our ecosystem at TapstartX. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for being a part of our community, and I'm sure that this session has left a lot of golden nuggets with a lot of founders on LinkedIn in our profile. And this look forward to doing this again with you, maybe touching upon Vodex 3.0 in the future that it comes. And any closing statements from you?
Oh, I must say that this was a great session and very curated, very funny questions also you had. And I loved what we talked about and how we discussed, you have structured the conversation very nicely. And it was a
Thank you.
great conversation that happened. And I was able to revisit a lot of things and was able to give a lot of inputs around that. So thank you very much for having me here.
Lovely, lovely. Looking forward to more sessions with you.
Thank
Until that time, all the best for the great work you all are doing. Please keep it up, and we are all really proud of you guys.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And lastly, I think I need to also give a shout out to Suranjika, because she has really worked hard
Yeah,
towards setting this
yeah,
up. So, Suranjika, co-founder at TapstartX, thank you so much for setting this up. And I think
yeah.
we have a couple of more sessions lined up with really promising businesses. So we look forward to that. Stay tuned on our LinkedIn page of TapstartX. Thank you so much.
Thank you.